Hi, welcome to Ken's Games Collection, and I want to do a video response I saw from Dylan from Hyper Trigger EX. He did a video on 10 games discovered whilst collecting, and I thought that's a really good topic to talk about. He showed a lot of series, and that's probably what I've gone for as well with my top 10, I guess you could say. Throughout the years, you know, I know the games I want to collect, but then for some reason there's games I've never tried before, never heard of even, and it gets my interest going, and I buy one game, and next thing you know, I'm buying the whole series of games I could find. Perfect example of that is with a game for the PlayStation Vita. I think back in 2016, 2017, I was doing a lot of buying video games. It was my main thing back then, and I discovered this game that was made by Sega, and I didn't know anything about this game, and it was the Project Diva series. So I took a chance with this, got it, and loved it. It is a rhythm dance game. My history of rhythm dance games is a bit, you know, on and off. It's good or bad. Take Parappa the Rapper. I could never get through that first level. I absolutely sucked at it. But then you get another rhythm dance game like I think it was Buster Groove. I could finish that game. So I was a little bit hesitant when I did get this, but it was really cool. And you know, I go on to get the other game on the Vita as well, and then I discovered that there was more of the Project Diva games. So this series goes right back to the PlayStation Portable, which I think these would have got only released in Japan. So, you know, of course, being the collector that I am, I tracked them all down. These are really cool games. Love the fact that they're all Japanese. Love the cover art on these ones. And the latest one that I did get was a couple of years ago on the Nintendo 3DS. Now, this game is really rare to find now, I believe. I think it's probably my favorite out of the Project Diva series, just because of the cuteness of the character, and the graphics on it is really great. But it's a great series that, you know, I took a chance on just because I was heavily collecting for the Vita, and next thing you know, I've got all those games. So that was really cool. Now, another game I got into, and this was back when I had, well, this is when I had the Nintendo 3DS. I still got it. I don't know what I'm saying back for, but when I started collecting for that, I came across a game that I knew, I've heard of it, but I never played any of the games in the series, and that's the Persona series. Now, I got this, put it in the 3DS, absolutely loved it, and I would track down, guess what, video games in later years. Persona Golden, which is great. Dancing All Night is really cool as well. I don't have any of the Persona games on the PlayStation 4. I don't know why that is, but I need to fix that. But this is a great game. I know there's a part 2 out now. I need to get it before the prices of the 3DS go up, but great game on the Nintendo 3DS. And yeah, after hearing so much about it from other people, finally pick one up, and yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Now, Dragon Quest. That goes right back to the days of Phantasy Star and Final Fantasy. Massive in Japan. I think it was called Dragon Warriors over there. And I knew of it, but I never got anything in the series, mainly because most of it was from Japan. But when Dragon Quest Builders came out, I was kind of interested in that one. I was never a huge fan of Minecraft. I like the Minecraft story mode. That's the Telltale Games one, but I never was really into Minecraft. But seeing the trailer for Dragon Quest Builders, I thought, man, this looks really cool. It's got the RPG elements into it, whereas, you know, you're doing all the crafting and stuff. But it was really great. I got this one from PlayAsia because I believe that this was the only way to get a physical copy of it. And later I would get Dragon Quest Builders on the Nintendo Switch. And because I am who I am, I got it on the PlayStation 4 as well. I don't have Dragon Quest Builders 2 yet, and I don't know which system I want to get it on. Probably the the Nintendo Switch for the portability, but because of, you know, getting my introduction was to a Minecraft-like game. So then I decided, okay, I need to go back and rediscover this series I've heard about but I never got into. And you know, I got Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. I do have I think one of the newer Dragon Quest games on the PlayStation 4 on its way from the UK, so hopefully I get that soon. So because of that, then I started collecting for the Nintendo DS. Got 3 games in this series on the DS, and then I find that some of these games were being remade for the Nintendo 3DS. So I got this one. There's a couple other ones I would love to track down, but it's getting harder. So because of a Dragon Quest Builders game, I would discover this series, which is bizarre because it's totally different from the RPGs on this series, but it's really cool. I really did enjoy that a lot, so I was really happy about that. So back when I was really heavily collecting for the Wii U, I kept on looking at one game in particular, but when I picked it up in the shops, I looked at it, put it back down, didn't think anything of it. And over the course of probably 6-7 months, I would do the same thing. I would go into the shop, look at this game, thinking, should I get it, shouldn't I? And I saw it on sale on Oz Game Shop one day, really cheap, and I took a chance and got it. And that game was Pikmin 3. I have never played a Pikmin game ever before, and I was really hesitant about this, but because it was cheap, I took a chance, and I think within the first 5 minutes, I was just absolutely addicted to this game. If we could get a Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4 on the Nintendo Switch, I'll be so happy. But the genius of Miyamoto and what games and ideas it can come up with is just great. Now, I believe that the origins of this game started on the Wii, so I haven't played those ones, but this for me was a great introduction to the Pikmin series, and just loved the cuteness of it. And yeah, I took a chance with this. I really did. I laughed it off for some reason, because maybe the way the characters look, but it's a great puzzle adventure game. I just loved it so much. So that was really great to take a chance on something like that. Now, years ago, I had a mate at work who was hounding me to play this game, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't look like the type of games I'd be into. But he kept telling me, you got to try this, you got to play this game. And one day I said, okay, lend me your copy of it, and I took it home, played it. I loved the whole hero anti-hero aspect of it, and that was Infamous. Fantastic. I just just because I thought this isn't for me, but it turned out to be really for me. Great game. I did love the whole anti-hero aspect of it. I did play as the anti-hero, and when Infamous 2 came out, I was already hooked on the series, and I got 2 other games on the PlayStation 4. But I feel like these 2 games are probably the best in the series, I think. Will we see another Infamous game on the PlayStation 5? I don't know, but this, for what it was worth, was a great game. Just the open world environment. I can just go anywhere, do anything I want. Then you go into your different missions, and it was like, man, this is so cool. Different from what I've experienced on the PlayStation 3 before. Now, Crisis. I for some reason, I just totally ignored this series. And again, I saw this going cheap, and I got Crisis 2, one of my favorite shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups of all time. It's a great shoot 'em up, and looks fantastic on the Xbox 360. Had a lot of fun with this one, and for some reason, I still have to hunt down 1 and 3. So yeah, again, I just sort of skipped it. I don't know why. I always like my first person shooters, but I did skip that one. Now let's go on to PlayStation Portable again. Now, Konami. I love their stuff from back in the Super Nintendo days. It was really cool. And I came across this weird little game, Death Junior. I absolutely loved it. A platform, 3D platform style game with a cute character. It kind of reminds me a bit of Manny Calavera out of Grim Fandango. I guess that maybe is what drew me to this game, that sort of stuff like that. And I did pick up Death Junior 2 not long ago. New and sealed. I need to crack this thing and open and play it. That's some great platforming games, and I believe it was on the Wii as well. I think they ported it to the Wii. But a cool series that I would love to see a new game, but it's Konami, so they're not going to do it. You know what they're like. Now, this next game on PlayStation 2, I did not know it was a Ghouls and Ghosts game. I was totally shocked when I learnt this. I probably got into these games very late in the PlayStation 2 life cycle, and that was Maximo and Maximo the Army of Zen. Love the Japanese cover there. I had no idea this was the Ghouls and Ghosts character Maximo, and it's a great 3D action adventure game, I guess you could say. He has the same abilities that we loved in the 2D side-scrolling game on the Super Nintendo or the Mega Drive. His armor breaks, he goes down to his underwear, his boxer shorts, I guess you could say. But it's really cool, a really challenging game. But I think you know what they did with this and how they presented this game from a 2D game into a full-on 3D game, it worked so perfectly for this character and this franchise. And you know, why they didn't call it Ghouls and Ghosts, I don't know, but it worked, and it got a sequel. So fantastic games. I love that one so much, especially the Japanese cover. Now I think this is the last of it. Now when I got the Wii U, I was pretty much collecting as much as I could find, and I think I don't have it on the Wii U for some reason, but I think it was Darksiders 2. I probably did own that briefly, but because it was the Aussie one, I probably got rid of it. But I got the PlayStation 4 version of Dark Souls 2, Darksiders 2 I should say, and Darksiders was a great series. Love both of these games. I need to get Darksiders 3, I believe, is out, but you know, it is really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Soul Reaver on the Dreamcast. I love the Raziel, and for some reason it's got similar feel to it. The character is no way near what Raziel was, but it's got that kind of feel. The environments, I guess, really make it that way. And towards the end of the Wii U life cycle, this is one of the last games available, I believe, for the Wii U, which is the Darksiders War Master edition. So because even though I got it on the PlayStation 4, I just felt like, you know, this is one of the last games ever on the Wii U, so I had to grab it as well. But I need to get Darksiders 2 on the Wii U. I haven't got that yet. We have one more game in this top 10 games I have discovered whilst collecting. Now, I don't know why I never played Doom before. I was always into the Wolfenstein games back when they first started. I was also into Quake, but more so Quake 2. And I never really thought anything of Doom. Not until 2019 when I picked this up overseas, and it was cheap, and I thought, okay, let's just give this game a go. And man, I've been missing out on some great first-person shooters with Doom. It is fantastic, and yeah, it's taken me probably, I don't know how long the series has been going. I know it's going back, or probably to the original PlayStation, probably going back even longer with PC, but yeah, took a chance, loved it, fantastic. And even on the Nintendo Switch, I got it on the Nintendo Switch, and the frame rate, it runs pretty damn good for a system that's not as powerful as the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. But that is it. That's my 10 games, well, this is more like 10 game series discovered whilst collecting. Yeah, you know, I've always on the lookout for something different, but for whatever reason, these are all, I guess you could say, iconic games on the respective consoles, and for whatever reason I just sort of missed them or just didn't think anything of them until one day it was like, oh, this is cheap, let's pick it up and give it a go. So that's my 10. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. What's your 10 games you discover whilst collecting? I could probably go through this and find another 10 or even another 20 games that I discovered whilst collecting, but these are the ones that really stood out for me. And yeah, Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4, please, I want to see that. So hey guys, see you next time. Bye.